Whispers Ghana is more or less back on its feet. The team Whispers Ghana has not slept at all. It's a lifetime, dream, and then we can't easily say that we've halted. But this is the way the pace will be. As far as the office is in our hands and the palms are our offices, we want to always reach out to the audience, share our little experiences and contributions we've been able to make so far after our campaign tours, after our series of advocacy. Also had a very important call, and the call is reference to the same work we do. And that at a point in time, we had more or less an engagement with a school. And then out of the engagement, we come to sort of also contribute the little we can in the field of work to society. So I think it has not been that talk where we have gone out of our focus. As far as the platform is concerned, the team have decided to gather a little from the break, so that in as much as the world we live in becomes ours, we can also share the little content we have. Teaching itself is my profession. I say I have two professions. I am an actor and also a teacher. So when it comes to teaching as a tool, I always pick it up and then engage it. And most of the time, teaching itself is so beautiful. If you work, you can see you come into contact with society, you work with colleagues, you work with parents, children, and then out of that, you can more or less factor the work you're doing as an advocate into the work where you need to touch on the children, where you need to help them reform. Practical experiences are yours, so you always have to apply. And in as much as it works and it solves certain problems and challenges we face in society, I think Whispers Advocacy have not slimmed itself at all. We've rather opened up big. Perseverance School is my alma mater. I would say that is the school I attended from crèche to the secondary education before getting to college and university. So Perseverance School is my alma mater, and then more or less I've become an old boy, a teacher, and then to their parents. I work with a school where I also have a ward, so the attention given them is extra. It's a full package. I always want to say that in as much as I want the best out of the kids, I also want the school to come to an international frontline, a class where tomorrow everybody will feel that the time you spend with them can be measured, the time can well be defined. If you come into the domain of work, I don't think there are problems with some of us and colleague teachers. The relationship is very smooth, especially authority. Coming down to work with authority is divine. I think the experiences are mine. Most of the time I say that as far as it is the work teaching, the progress nature of the work can be measured out of sometimes the good upbringing of the kids. Teaching courses like citizenship education, religious and moral education, and creative arts. The totality or the embodiment of work comes up with the growth of the kids. Sometimes you can see that they enjoy you working more or less, not hiding from them certain experiences. When some of them are even on social media, they become aware, in quote, that our sir have been through certain things like imprisonment and so on and so forth. It makes you teach carefully. It makes you teach and then you want a result. It makes you teach passionately, and then you want to affect them so that one day when they grow, in as much as the perception have been people who are tagged as more or less criminals and then they find themselves working in the classroom, it becomes a concept where everybody lives. With the little I have been able to achieve, I've collaborated with Tony Decker, Facebook, and then out of that initiative, we've been able to more or less put about 100 royal palm trees on the landscape of the school. This is royal palm trees which makes academic institutions beautiful. As far as some of us have grinded through schools like St. Peter's Secondary School, Akropong College and University of Ghana, we can perceive that this very offer we've made to our alma mater will one day serve a great value to the whole world. think my time with Tony Decker has always existed on the social media. Tony Decker has been with me on the social media for the past 6 years. And then what I realized after confinement and getting engaged with the school is that he was undertaking a tree planting exercise on the Accra-Kumasi highway stretch. And as far as I'm concerned, I contacted him. With his collaboration, we were able to put about 100 royal palm trees in the place of work. And then I can see that alone have added a lot of beauty on the school compound. A school compound can be well, positioned where most of our erosion problems have been taken care of, and also the future of the school concerning the royal palm trees is beautiful. In the area of achievement, I can't forget about the cadet corps. I remain the patron of the cadet corps as an organization, the cadet as a club in the school. Cadet is more or less a discipline organization where both young boys and girls between the classes of 3, 4, 5, and 6 are scooped or more or less recruited and then build into them what we call a better future and a better Ghana. With the cadet, I think we say aho and ahuyaya. We say one can do, all can do. And then when we move, we can kill without being seen. And such kids comes out with such responses, and then it motivates them. That is the morale. And as far as I've been trained also as a cadet personnel from the college, I don't think wherever I work I deny the kids of such an event. It is a wonderful occasion coming to see them performing, and that is what Whispers Advocacy is proud of, trying to raise the generation into the field of security. Thank you. Helping kids who are more or less vulnerable in society, kids who don't know much, but yet you still want to turn their brains to a point where they themselves like to become, especially building them in their areas of profession. You teach, and some kids don't want to become even teachers. Some want to become doctors. Kids want to become great men, pilots, military men, engineers, and so on and so forth. So that. By the grace of God, the church also add a little value to the break. We also contribute a little to the work of God, and then sometimes spiritual matters are being taken care of. On that regard, I'll appreciate the work of certain great pastors we've met, like Pastor London. Such a pastor have played an instrumental role in our lives. Earlier years or past years, you can see that when we wake up, sometimes we don't feel we submit ourselves to even the hand of God. But it has been too, wonderful that as we've become a body of men, as we become the vessels, we need always to see ourselves as people who are doing the work of God. After all, contributing and giving back, not even considering the input, the comeback, I would say the money worth. We are looking at the long-term effect. And then reference to the church, 2017 ICGC Bungalow Temple. Some of us are part of the church, annual harvest. And I'm proud to say to the world that I was made the harvest committee chairman. And then our mark was really achieved. We were able to raise enough to procure instruments, and also in building the church building. So at least such a contribution cannot be lost in the material moment. We need to add it up to the work Whispers Ghana is also trying to put up. Of course, I have to mention is the fact that we've been able to come before court of law, the human rights court of law as well, where at the time we feel that not only will the media solve the problem, the media will do its portion. The solution also lies before the court of law, especially teaching the people whom we are most interested in, prisoners, their rights, letting them come to understand the justice system, that we have problems and some of the problems can be well addressed at the court of law. In fact, where I feel challenged a little is that the point where I lost a lawyer who have taken me as a son and then was nurturing me, where some of my challenges were spelled to him, and then we came before the court of law. And then interesting enough, the Human Rights Court of Ghana under His Lordship Justice Anthony have been very, very frank with us through our proceedings till the time where my lawyer expired, and then we need to put our house in shape or put our house together. So that I have to more or less put the matter on hold. But as far as we live, when you fight and run away, you live to fight another day. So therefore, we don't worry at all that we're leaving no stone unturned. What we want to churn the viewers, the world, to come to understand is that it will take us time, but we're going to get there. This is more or less an advancement in what has never been made possible before in life. But we believe with God all